Hi, everyone, and welcome to Spotlight in Business. I'm your host, Tammy Defoe, CEO, business coach, and public speaking instructor with GTApreneurs. I have the pleasure today of introducing to you Liz Jakoi, a world transformation coach who's taken the time out of her day to teach us something about what she does. And I'm happy to say she'll be the guest speaker at our next event. So that is Wednesday, August the 18th from 12 to 2 p.m. You don't want to miss it. And let's learn more about Liz. So thanks for coming today, Liz. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Tammy, for giving me the opportunity.
Yeah, you're very welcome. You know, we've gotten to know each other for a while now, right? And so impressed with the service you offer. You were our speaker back in February as well. So excited to have you back again. I know we got a lot of positive response, also part of our downtown professional network. And let's learn more about you. Tell everybody about who you are. What do you do?
Sure. Well, I started off in corporate world after graduating from university, went into human resources, and then went on to training, development, and coaching, and then ended up employment counseling, which is kind of the opposite of human resources, which was great because all that knowledge that I gained about employers and what they're looking for in employees, I could now impart that knowledge onto job seekers. And I really enjoyed that because that was moving people from despair to hope. I left the corporate environment because my mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia, and she needed some care until she could be placed into long-term care. And then and you do that soul searching. I also had a number of physical issues, like health issues myself. And that was because I really wasn't taking care of myself. It's like many women, right? We spend so much time taking care and, looking after everybody else. And so I decided to take care of myself, and I went through a whole transformation. And that led me to say, well, if I could do it in my 50s, imagine how I can help other women, even in their 50s, 40s, and maybe even get them earlier on in life, so that they can prevent many of the things that I went through. So.
Absolutely. And I've heard about your transformation, seen pictures, and I'm just really impressed, Liz. It's amazing, that for at any age, right, and everything, right, but especially, your age and that, and, you just got to the point where, continue how I am, right, or do something better. So tell us more about, the specific service that you provide. Who do you help specifically, and how do you help them?
Well, I help women in transition who are professionals. The transition could be anything from, they're realizing that their teenagers no longer need them as much. And so they sort of have more free time and have recognized, okay, what happened to me? Where am I? Who am I? Or the transition could be they're separating or in a separation or separated, right? So there's that transition. Or the kids are leaving the nest, getting ready to go off to college. So there's some kind of transition, and that's often the time where women start to realize and become aware that they've lost themselves somewhere along the line, right? And they really need that their self-care has been on and off, that they really need to pay attention to themselves, that it's really important.
Excellent. Yeah, I know I used to be a personal trainer many years ago, and would have mothers coming to me, right? And sometimes just to leave their child in the daycare for a little bit, like they were stressed out about doing that. But meanwhile, their weight was going up and everything, right? They were unhealthy, but it's like, you know what? You have to take care of yourself first, right? Or, how can you be there for anyone else?
Exactly. Oh, yeah. So that's, I think, what makes what I do a little bit unique, because I don't focus just on the mindset. I focus on mind, body, and spirit.
Very nice. Good. Can you tell us about some recent successes you've had with clients?
Oh, absolutely. I guess the most recent one that I'm really excited for her, mostly because, my clients have to do the work. I'm just their guide. And she came to me about a year ago when COVID started, saying, I'm all stressed out. This whole COVID situation is making me feel even worse. I'm anxious. I'm overwhelmed. I feel like my brain's shutting down. I don't know what's going on. And so when we started to do a deeper dive, we realized that the stress that she'd been experiencing has really been going on for at least 3 or 4 years beforehand, that it wasn't really COVID, but she'd been this way for years. And now she's a VP, and she had a side hustle. So her plan was, she really wasn't enjoying the corporate struggle, the corporate hustle anymore, right? Especially in human resources, VP in human resources. And she wanted to leave, but she knew she had all these limiting beliefs. She'd had to stop and start her side hustle. And she knew she was comparing herself to other other people in the business. She knew that, she just couldn't send that email or respond to message, or sometimes her posts weren't, attracting the clients that she needed to attract. So when we started to work on her mindset first, she saw shifts immediately. And I'm happy to say that after 1 year, because we started working together about mid-May last year, and on June 17th, because she's gotten more customers, gotten her revenue up and going, she's gotten herself back, she understands everything. On June 17th of this year, she left the corporate world, and now her side hustle is skyrocketing. So that's my biggest success, that I'm really happy for her, as well as, I guess, for myself.
Yeah. And I mean, I do have another friend too, and she's actually her early 60s now. And it was the first time I ever heard of any kind of a transformation coach, somebody working with one, right? And she's like, after she went through divorce, she just was lost. Kids are grown up, right? And what does she do now? So I know that's something that you also help out with. So it was just really good that I see, oh yeah, real people are doing this. Real people are getting coaches to help them with these things.
Exactly. Yeah, that's another success that I have. A lady who came to me, she was in just separating, but she realized that she had certain triggers every time her husband would walk into the house, because they live separately now. But every time he came in to move some other stuff out, a fight would ensue, she'd get triggered. So those are the things that I look at, is because these are habits that have formed, there's certain thoughts that are going on. And that's what we kind of take a deep dive on and figure out that, he's got his own sort of what I call psycho-cybernetic loop going on, and she's got her own loop going on. And so she was caught up in, and so she recognized that a lot of times what her triggers were just, I told her it was her potential inside screaming at her that she wasn't living up to who she really was and her true self. And she recognized what that really was and how she wanted to be. Yeah, her life immediately shifted as well. So yeah, it's really important. It's hard because it's called kind of like uncoupling process that you have to do, because you're a couple. And it's difficult. You get into these patterns and these routines, and now you've got to do things on your own, right? So that's what I call it. Yeah.
And that can be scary, right? People too, they've been married a long time or common law for many, many years, and then to be on their own, some people, they don't know where to start. Sometimes you have like joint friends as well, right? Where all of a sudden then they have to pick sides, or who do they be friends with? And then maybe some people are no longer your friends because maybe they were his friends first, or whatever the case may be, right? So I think it is really scary time for people, to having someone who could take them step by step and having them to figure out, okay, where do you want to go? What do you want for your own life? And let's help you get there and be that support system.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too is that whether it be, a separation, right, or you're in your own business, or you're in the corporate world, wherever the situation is, that, when you're in it yourself and you're doing your best, and, we have to go shopping, we have to clean, we have to take care of ourselves, we have to work, we're trying to do everything like this. Sometimes it's difficult to see where we can make a change or see how we can do it. But when you have a third party coming in and looking at the situation from, a different lens, then, I can see how that would give the other person the insight they need and the direction they need to make a change. But sometimes when we're in the middle of something, we just can't see it. And we just don't know we're doing our best. We just don't know what else to do, right? And I think it's good to have someone like yourself to come in and say, what's going on right now? Where do you want to be? And let's get you there. Same, just like with New Year's resolutions, right? And New Year's resolutions don't just have to take place in January,
no.
Right? But how many people out there set New Year's resolutions and then you don't achieve them?
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
So, when I tell people, I say, what, on a monthly basis would be ideal, but at least on a 6-month basis. So say July the 1st, then you have to evaluate for the first half of the year. Did you do what you said you were going to do? Right? And if not, well, look, it's August the 6th. You're only 1 month into the last half of the year. You got till December 31st. So if you have goals, you're not getting there, then reach out to Liz, because she can help you make sure that you're where you are now and step by step to where you want to go. So don't wait another year or 2 years or whatever to say, oh no, I'm going to do it next year. Because you know what happens? Next year never comes, right? Because next year, it's always the next year, right?
Exactly. Or don't wait until you get the diagnosis or
Right?
something bad happens or,
Yeah.
you have a feeling that your relationship is in jeopardy. Don't start, and that you want to change. You can't change the other person, but if you start changing inside, the very
Yeah.
fact that you start changing may help others around you change as well, because that's the spirit part, where it's like we vibrate, right? And we have a certain vibration, and people talk about that, right? And so when you start doing that self-discovery and you gain valuable insights about yourself, you'll not only gain insights about yourself, but you'll gain it about others. And then you'll be much more relaxed and calm. And everybody in your life will notice that, right? So yeah, that's typically what I do. Is what you said too, is shine a light, right? Because on the limiting beliefs that help you create clarity. And that's what I'm all about. And I don't really, and it was interesting because one of my clients that she's going through my program right now said the other day, she goes, I love how you find all the puzzles of the pieces and then you put it together and it shines a light for me. And then I have a clearer picture of what's really going on. She says, and that is so empowering. And this is one lady that from week to week, it's nice to see that she makes shifts and transformation every week, because she knows she's open to the changes. Actually, what I said to her was, you have a lot of common sense. You know what you need to do, but you haven't made it common practice. And so that's what I've been helping her do. She knows what she came to me. She goes, I know I should be time blocking. I know I should be exercising. I know I should do this, but I keep starting and stop. And so, when I told her, how to make it common practice and what some of those limiting beliefs were, when we shot a line, it was like illuminating for her. She realized it. I think she had an inkling, but sometimes, talking it through someone like myself really helps to, and what I find is really, really important is not me telling the person what the limiting belief is, but through my questioning. That's what I call it. Like the Socratic method is what I call it. Through questioning, they come up with, oh my God, I feel like a failure, or, oh my God, I've been doing this all my life because I think I'm not good enough, but damn it, I am good enough, right? So that's where the shift happens. I help them make new decisions in their life and then look for evidence that they are good enough. There's probably evidence in the past where they were good enough. And that's what I help them and then they realize, oh yeah, so why am I exactly, right? So they started questioning why they're holding on to those limiting beliefs that no longer serve them.
Exactly. And a lot of people they don't realize it, right? It should become your psyche, however you grew up. Maybe it was how your parents talked to you, or maybe you were in an abusive relationship, right? Or,
exactly.
Whatever the case may be, right? That just, and then that just became part of your nature and you really didn't know another way. You don't really see. So having someone else to come in there, like you said, it's not like you're telling people what to do, but you're pulling out of them what inherently somewhere deep down inside that they know or they believe, but they haven't been able to bring to the surface, right? To put into practice, maybe because of fear. They have a fear of, if I do this, maybe this is going to happen, right? And not even just about people divorcing. It can be people who are even to help them in their current relationship, right?
Even at work, if they notice that, things that they're not progressing to that next level, or they feel friction, or they're not sure, they want to do better, they want to perform better at a higher level at work, because they're achievers, they're strivers, right? You can reach peak performance and you're really good. And I think it's kind of interesting because somebody was asking me this the other day, and it's kind of like I've had this in me since I was a kid, that I truly believe that each one of us have potential within. And it's developing that potential, accessing that potential. It's a lifelong pursuit. It really is. Now, when I look back, right, that I'm finally doing and helping what I really was set out to do. And that's help people recognize within themselves their potential and what their inner strengths are, and that they have more than likely done it before and they can do it again or continue doing it. So yeah, I'm excited. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic, right? And I'm so glad I met you, Liz. Not right. I'm always happy to recommend people to you, but people really need to reach out to you, because it is something where sometimes you just need someone to, bounce the ideas off of. You need just to verbalize and someone to even give you affirmations, right? But sometimes there are things that are just so deep seated, and people have to think about: do you keep doing the same patterns every year, or the same patterns every month, or the same patterns of whatever? What are the regular things you're doing? And there's a reason why you can't break through to that, then, reach out to Liz. right? Get someone else to help you with. There's nothing wrong with that, right? It's more and more people are seeing the benefits of it. Why try to struggle through something on your own when someone else can help you get there in a shorter period of time and probably more completely than if you try to do it on your own?
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm glad you touched on it, because it's three things that you mentioned, and that's beliefs, habits, and identity. Those are the three key factors that sometimes hold us back from, moving ahead. So great.
Yeah. And also even just getting some new ideas. Like maybe the person's tried some things, but they just run out of ideas, right? But having someone else coming in there and saying, okay, well, what about this and this and this, right? And just to give someone more. So actually, I think it's great. I think the whole profession is great, right? But you've taken it to a whole different level. I like how you're integrating the mind, body, and spirit in that, right? And making sure, because they all work together, right?
Exactly.
And I know for yourself, the amazing transformations you've come out with. And so we're going to put in the chat for everybody, in the post, Liz's information, and you can reach out to her too. And if you want to put some of your blog posts or whatever that show your own personal transformation too, I think people would be interested in that.
Great.
And to take a look at everybody. But you know what, even better than that, come out on August the 18th, Wednesday at 12 o'clock. And Liz is going to give us a fantastic presentation that is going to help you improve you just during the event in 20 minutes. So it's fantastic. 20 minutes is really short than what Liz is used to, but she's going to insert her magic in that short period of time. So you want to come out there, come and see her. She's also happy to do a half an hour complimentary call with you, right? Just to learn about your situation, things like that, and to see how she may be best be able to help you. Yeah, so reach out to Liz. So thanks so much for coming to Liz. Super awesome to have you here. Looking forward to your presentation again. Always something new and exciting. You're welcome.
Thank you. Great group. And you provide such a great environment and a great community for us all to build relationships and refer each other. So thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day.